Welcome to Doug in Exile. If you come out and tell people about your values, people can respond and say, I like you, I want to buy your product, or I don't like you, I don't want to buy your product. Kevin O'Leary is talking about the Bud Light fiasco.
Well, Bud Light has become the poster boy for brand mismanagement.
Did Bud Light do something wrong in saying that they are pro-pride or pro-trans? That's what I want to know. Did they do something wrong? If Bud Light comes out and says, I'm pro-Christian, that is, are you allowed to come out and say any value that you want? Or are they all wrong?
The discussions that have arisen and the narrative that's arisen around Bud Light is probably a good lesson for every CEO in every sector of the economy.
Most brands that come out pro-rainbow, I just saw made fun of a PetSmart one because I'm against the rainbow. I'm telling you, that's just me personally. I'm against it. It goes against my values. And PetSmart comes out for it. And Bud Light comes out for it. Most brands, everything from Oreos to Electronic Arts, they excel. They do very well doing rainbow things. Bud Light was a strangely old-fashioned masculine brand that happened to get hit.
The story and narrative changed to sales. And so people that did not like the message, regardless of where you stand on these social issues or gender narrative or whatever, they took it out by basically boycotting the product immediately.
Yeah.
And switching preference to other brands that did not make them get involved in this issue.
Is this brand mismanagement? Well, what I learned is that Bud Light really doesn't care about trans issues. Like, they'll come out lightly for it when they think that the culture will give them a big, ha, it's great that you did Dylan Mulvaney, a trans artist of some kind. But then when it cost them, when it cut back and cost Bud Light money, they say, trans who? Dylan Mulvaney who? Dump that free. That's what bugs me. It's the disloyalty. Because if you're for it, if the brand is really for it, they should be able to take the heat. I stand with my Christian friends, conservative Christian, anti-rainbow friends, even when it costs me money, because those are my values. Like, you can throw me in jail. I won't turn my back on Christ or my family or my friends. Bud Light will. That's their brand now.
Now, if you're trying to manage that and trying to learn something from it, and I certainly talk to all my CEOs about this, because here we are talking about it in its second month. This is a nightmare from hell for the brand. This is worse than New Coke, Old Coke.
And that's what happens now, is gays now are against Bud Light because Bud Light are turning a little tiny bit on Dylan Mulvaney. If you can't handle the heat, then you should not weigh in on values with your product. You should say, like, look, I'm motor oil and I don't stand for anything, be it Black Lives Matter or the rainbow or pro-Christianity or pro-Second Amendment, or, you know, they safely always wanted to be pro-America. They always wanted that American flag without saying what it meant. This goes for the NFL. All these products now are being politicized.
In crisis management, what do you do? Because if you go to the other side and try and balance the gender narrative, you're going to get a whole new onslaught of people that don't like that.
This has happened to me by doing this conservative channel. It benefits me greatly, far beyond I could have ever dreamed. However, it has pushed down and harmed my art career. By the way, my art career has been harmed for 20 years, ever since I came out as a conservative Christian in Hollywood. So I just go, you know what? I'm throwing in with the conservatives. They'll take care of me.
The lesson learned, and what everybody should think about in every consumer product category, when you take polarized positions on any narrative, you are going to alienate 50% of your consumer 100% of the time. So if you're willing to do something very controversial because you think it's going to go viral in a positive way, you need to analyze the downside in a negative way as well.
In the end, it's the CEO, the president of the company that made this decision. They all wanted to go rainbow. I say, cut them, gut them, cut them hard. I hope they go out of business. I hope they're destroyed because they went against my family values. It doesn't bother me if they do succeed or if they don't succeed. That's not my place. I only know that people like Bud Light were happy to see me get fired for supporting my values. So I say, I hope they all get to experience the same joy of loyalty that I do. I hope you lose your job or I should say, I hope you get a bloody nose one day for something that you stand for.
Everybody involved in that brand is begging for the media to stop. And here you are with me talking about it again.
I hope you go out of business. I think it's funny. And now you can empathize with me.
When you're in crisis mode and the heads are going to roll, it's just too much capitalized loss. It's just too much.
Good. May Bud continue to crater. Goodbye, Budweiser. I'll be drinking anything but. I'm Doug in Exile. Let me know what you think in the comments below.